GTV for unity and development.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, the master of the day of judgment, the king of the day of judgment, and to you we all worship, and unto you we ask for our provision. Lead us into the straight path unto which you have given to your favored ones, and not the path of those whom your wrath has been set upon, and not those who have gone astray. Amen. Today we are going to remind ourselves about madrasa, what we call madrasa. Sometimes it is called Quran school, and we have to know that this madrasa is a very important segment of education in the Muslim religious system, and that's why we need to talk about it. What is madrasa? Madrasa is an Arabic word which just means school, but it is derived from an Arabic word darasa, which means learning. Darasa, learning. Now, there can never be a freedom of education, rather freedom of worship. For example, in our country, Uganda, it is embedded in our constitution that there is freedom of worship. Now, this freedom of worship can only be executed or can only be enjoyed if there is also freedom of teaching that religion. For example, in Christianity, they have what is called seminary. And what is a seminary? Seminary are graduate schools that offer theological education with a specific focus on preparing the followers spiritually, professionally, and academically for the ministry. You see, Uganda, as we see our country, is not a religious country. It's not it's not a state governed by a religion, no. But interestingly, all Ugandans almost are religious people. So the citizens are religious, but the state is not a religious state. Therefore, it is a secular state, but it is all-encompassing. It embraces all religions, especially those religions that advocate for peace, because the ultimate goal of a country is to see that there is peace among the citizens. So the Christians have what they call seminaries, where their clergies, the clerics, can go to study and they continue with the mission of Christianity in this country. Now, Islam do not have seminaries. What Muslims have is what is called madrasa. That's what we have, madrasa. So in Islam, madrasa are designed to teach general competencies and religious competencies as a basis in shaping behavior and character of the education system. It is also designed to meet the learners' spiritual requirements and provide opportunities for them to grow in their religion. So the madrasa is that center. When you hear madrasa, we are talking about that center where Quran is taught. A center where religious information is transmitted to the people. That is what is called madrasa. It can be taught at a lower level, at the ECD level, at a nursery level with small children. Then it grows with the people. So it is how people are shaped within the religion. So it is not the religion that should shape, it is not the people that should shape the religion. So religion is not supposed to be in the people, but it is the people who are supposed to be in the religion, because that is the mold that shapes the people, the morals of the people. You cannot shape the religion, because the religion doesn't belong to us. The religion belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that brought this religion to shape us, because man is not perfect. So Quran has never been brought to perfect people, but to perfect people. Having said that, Uganda is a very interesting country. You know, in Uganda, seminaries are considered as education matter and religious matter. Yet, madrasas are considered as security matter. I've always asked myself how and why. One time I was discussing with one of the security personnel after raiding some of our madrasas and taking the sheikhs and even the children in custodies. They call it safe custodies. I am yet to learn whether they are really safe. So when I had a discussion with them, I would ask them a question. I said, do you believe in seminaries? That yes, we know these seminaries. We also know there is what is called Sunday schools. We know these ones. These are for religious things. Then I said, by the way, if you look at the circles of other religions, you will find that, for example, if you go to the churches of the born-agains, you will find the whole night they are there, praying to their God, praising their God, doing all the religious work in there. And sometimes they go chanting, even the words like fire, fire. But nobody has followed them. It has never attracted the security concerns. Why Muslims? What he told me was that, you see, when a born again says fire, there is no fire there. These are not real fire. But when a Muslim say fire, you have to wake up. Don't sleep. Go and find out what is bringing that fire out. So that is the difference. Therefore, we as Muslims, we have to know one thing. First of all, we have to be very clear on this matter of madrasa. Madrasas are not breeding grounds for terrorism. No. And terrorism also has nothing to do with the madrasa. No. These two things are different. If someone has a fear over that, I want to allay your fears. These things are not there in madrasa. In fact, the U.S. Embassy had approached us in 2018, but even in 2023, there is a program under URI, the Union of Religious what? Religious Initiative. There is an organization that being funded by U.S. Secretary on issues appertaining to madrasas in Uganda. The research has been conducted. The first research in 2018 was conducted, led by Dr. Asad Lutale, but also the second one has been, the lead researcher has been Dr. Muhammad Chigundo of Makerere University, and including us. We did that research, and the results came out that actually madrasas in Uganda have no connection with terrorism. Well, since it comes, but we cannot leave out the idea that if these madrasas in Uganda are not protected, if they are not protected, if they are not governed well, if they are not regulated well, then they can be misused. This one we have to be very clear about it. We have to be very clear about it because we have seen. We say we are not, but then you find a Muslim being arrested. He's Muhammadi, he's Abdallah, he's Faisal, arrested in connection with the terrorism, radicalization. All these things are happening. We know it is happening. That's why we are saying we need to come up. It is an inescapable duty of Uganda Muslim Supreme Council that has been established for the purpose of protecting the Muslims of this country, promoting the Muslims of this country, and looking into the affairs and managing the affairs of this country in terms of its education, in terms of its property, in terms of its wealth, in terms of everything. And that is the purpose of Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, and we are here for that purpose. So I want to tell you Muslims that when the government gets concerned about these issues of madrasa, let us then help the government and separate the goats from the sheep. Let us separate the domestic animals from the wild animals. Let us separate the prey from the predator. Those are things we have to be very clear about. Oh, but why can't we do that? Instead of lamenting that the government is doing this, the government, the security is doing this, they are punishing us, they don't want us, the government doesn't like Muslims, and yet we are not conscious of some elements in our community that can misuse our systems, our education systems to do things of their own. I think we have to be very clear over that one. And we can learn this from our Holy Quran in Surah An-Naml. Remember what the Namlis say. Namlis are those small, tiny red ants. What did they say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran to tell us how small things can also be conscious of their security. They said, حَتَّى إِذَا أَتَوْا إِلَى وَادِ نَمْلِ قَالَتْ نَمْلَ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّمْلُ ادْخُلُوا مَسَاكِنَكُمْ لا يحتمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. You see that? He says that حتى إذا أتوا إلى واد نمل. When Sulaiman, King Solomon, was coming with his troops, with his soldiers as he was passing, then these small ants who knew that they cannot be visible, yet they are alive, when they were passing, then one of the queen of the animals, the leader of these ants, had to alert the animals. He said, "Ya ayyuhan namla, oh you, the community of the ants, please enter quickly into your holes, because Sulaiman may come and trample on us, and he may not even know that he has already finished us. So instead of waiting for that to lament, let us protect our what? Let us protect ourselves." And that is how we have to do things now. Let us think of protecting ourselves. Let us think of areas of cooperation with the security in order to help our madrasas not to be penetrated by people who are ill-fated. Now, but before that, let us look into more issues, more programs regarding what madrasa is. Does madrasa education have the same timetable like the secular education? Definitely no. Madrasa can never follow the timetable pattern of regular school program. No, it is not. It is not. Number one, some madrasa lessons commence in the evening after children retiring from the schools, because we have our Muslim schools in Muslim-founded schools as well as non-Muslim-founded schools. Now, these students, once they finish the normal teaching, they have to come home and then begin also madrasa lessons in the evenings. So here you can see why madrasa timetable cannot work together with the normal lessons. That's number one. Number two, some madrasas operate during the weekends. Why? Because this is the same children that we need to study secular education, because this is their world. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in his hadith, "Man arada dunya fa'alayhi bil ilm, wa man arada al akhiratu fa'alayhi bil ilm, wa man arada huma fa'alayhima bil ilm." That whoever wants the good of this world, he'll never get it except through knowledge. And if you want also to go to the hereafter, it is also about knowledge. And if you want both, still you have to follow the what? You have to get knowledge, get information. So for that matter, you find that the children from Monday to Friday, they engaged in their private, in their secular education schools. But after that, they will then come to the madrasa on Fridays and Sundays. Number three, some madrasas operate over holidays. Once there is holiday, then that is the chance for children to go and learn their religion in this. That timetable you cannot compare madrasa with the other regular secular system. The fourth type is this, that some madrasas continue. They are very continuous. They continue. They don't know Monday, they don't know Friday, they don't know what. They continue like this for around 3 years. But these ones are for memorization of the Quran. You see this Quran here, it has 30 parts, which are called JUMS. These 30 parts, we have 114 surahs in this Quran that children are supposed to memorize and capture it in their brains. That one is called tahfiz. So this type of Quran is very different. The way of teaching it is very different. Therefore, students have to concentrate day and night to memorize the Quran. Because memorization is not easy. Even a professor who writes his own book has not even memorized that book, cannot memorize the book. So this is a very unique knowledge which is only found with the Al-Quran Al-Karim. So this time is needed for the children. Well, if we talk of madrasa, what are the subjects taught in madrasa? What are those subjects we want to teach in madrasa? You have to understand this. We have around 6 subjects which are taught in madrasa. Number 1 is called Tawheed. Tawheed is the oneness. You know, that is the creed of the religion. Like in Christianity, they will talk of Trinity. You break Trinity, you have broken Christianity. But in Islam, it is a Tawheed, oneness of Islam, oneness. This thing must be taught. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught Tawheed for 13 years, 13 good years. Just Tawheed and nothing added to that. Tawheed, that is oneness of God. Very, very important. That's why when you are entering Islam, the first thing you have to do is that declaration of oneness of God, saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, I bear witness that there is no any other deity worthy of worship, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And also the second one is to bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. Allah is the creator and the deity to be worshipped, and the people are the worshippers, but the information comes through the messenger. So Tawheed is very, very important that we teach our children with. Number 2, we also teach them the recitation of the Quran, because the message is here. So this message must be given to the children. You cannot stop madrasa. The moment you stop madrasa, you have stopped learning. In fact, you have stopped religion, Islam, from existence. The moment you stop this. And what is here? It is peace. Somebody cannot open here and begin to talk of wars. No. Islam doesn't teach people to attack someone who doesn't conform to Islam, that he should be killed. Some people say this, but it is not true. 100 years ago we used to have interreligious wars. It's true. That's because we didn't understand. We didn't have the ability to tolerate other people's religion. We didn't have enough knowledge about the Quran on how to deal with the non-Muslims. We didn't have. Not only us, because we are not aggressors. Sometimes we fight because they aggress us. Sometimes we are oppressed. Even the Christians used to think that other than Christianity, there should be nothing more than that. And they would fight. But today we have inter-religious council. When people come and sit together. We talk about one another, but we don't talk against one another. We come together and respect one another's view regarding the religion. But we also have things in common. When we talk about hunger, this is something common. Hunger doesn't know who is. When you talk of poverty, poverty does not know who is who. When you talk about immorality, you understand. Immorality is for all. You see, when we were fighting LGBT, no other religion went out. We all combined our energies to fight the vices. And we combined our energies to accept good vices. Rather, accepting the good issues and repelling the vices. تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. All of the religions talk about love. No religion talks about gloves. We talk about love and not gloves. Because when you put on gloves, then you have to punch, you have to box somebody. But when you put on love, then you have to embrace. That is the difference. So, Islam should be taught, the true Islam should be taught to the children, and it should be through madrasa and not any other thing. Then the other thing we teach our children of is fiqh, that is Islamic jurisprudence. The do's and the don'ts in the Islam, it is taught in this. Marriages are taught here. How to pray are taught here. How to fast, they are taught here. How it is done. How to go to Hijjah, it is taught in fiqh. So you stop madrasa, you have stopped all these teachings. And you have stopped these teachings, you have stopped Islam. You have stopped the freedom of the Muslims. The other thing we teach also is the hadith. Hadith are the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about what? About manners. About morals. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in one of hadith he said, "La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibbu li akhihi ma yuhibbu li nafsihi." No one can deceive you that he's a believer until you love for your brother what you would love for yourself. You can see that. So all this hadith of the Prophet, and this hadith is quoted, many people are quoting it. Even I've seen Western philosophers, they quote the Prophet Muhammad's hadith. I've seen Chinese people like Dalai Lama and others. Dalai Lama, we have people like Mahatma Gandhi's. They have always, in their quotations, they have always quoted Nabi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his quotes. So it's in their discussion. And all this is in the hadith, what is called hadith, the sayings and the quotes of Nabi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to shape the morals of our children. So don't stop this. This is very important. Just let us be like, we can weed. Of course, if you go into your shamba, you know what you are digging, what you have grown, what you have planted there is maize. But sometimes there are things that grow there which you have no knowledge of. Who planted them, you don't know, but they are there. So the only thing you have to do is check and go with a hoe and begin to plow. You weed them off. So the weeds are always there. We don't deny weeds in a madrasa system, but we need experts to go and weed them for us. We can weed them, and there are those ones we cannot manage. Then that's where security can come in. But otherwise, it is not a security matter. It is an educational and a religious matter. We only need to see how we can cooperate, because even the Ministry of Education, we may not say they take over madrasa and begin to regulate, because you cannot regulate what you don't know. You don't regulate what you don't know. But what you do is you cooperate with people who know. Like Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, we need to cooperate with Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. But I thank the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Once we have those documents, certificates, the religious certificates called the Thanawi, Idadi, then the Ibtidai certificates, we give them and they endorse after Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, after me signing. They also sign, they counter-sign it, because they know it is coming from our partners, the Muslim community. They don't doubt Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, and I want to thank you for that. Otherwise, you would have thrown the whole thing out. And whenever students would take for them those papers which are religious, which are Islamic in nature, they normally refer them to us, that no, you first go to Supreme Council, let the Supreme Council tell us what to do. And then we will tell them what to do, and then they do. That is the cooperation we need in terms of madrasa. You people, let me tell you one thing. We need peace, and we also need peaceful environment. We don't want wars. Why should we hide the wrong people in our community? If we know them, we shall even report them, even before the community, before the security comes to discover. But the good thing is, let us try to see how we can cooperate. So another subject that we teach is called Siratul Nabawi. Sira means the biography of Nabi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How he was born, where he was born, what it means to the Muslims, how he behaved, and his behavior, how Muslims can emulate his behavior. Sometimes saying of the Prophet is not enough. There are some sects of Muslims who only deal with the sayings of the Prophet, but they do not know the life of the Prophet Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man, Nabi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the most humble of God's creatures in this world. It's called Khairul Bariyya, the best of the creature. And how can you be best when you are a very angry person? See somebody with a very long beard but short temper. How? You should keep your temper long also, the way you put your beard. You're so angry that I'm angry in this world. I will only laugh and smile when I'm in Jannah. Who tells you? If you don't smile in this world, even in Jannah, you will never smile. And where people, God has also prepared a place for people who don't smile. It's there. Therefore, we need to think objectively, and you see, that we need to learn how this man Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he behaves, his emotions. He has that excellent emotional intelligence. His intelligence is so high that he cannot allow somebody's bitterness to change his sweetness. No, he can't allow that. When he went to Taif, they fought him. Young men humiliated him, threw him with the stones, and he was bleeding everywhere. Angels of God came to him and said, we are the most powerful creatures of God. We are here. We have the powers to remove these mountains and use it to destroy these people just in a single second. Just give us the go ahead, we shall do it. That intelligent man, Nabi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam, looked at the angels and said, yes, they have really humiliated me. They threw stones at me. They abused me. They chased me. It's so bad, really so bad. But that is from their side. But from my side, I think we need to forgive them. Don't worry, forgive them. What they are doing now is because of ignorance. See, the biggest degree, the highest degree in their minds is the mind of ignorance. They are not aware of how important I am to them. But let's give them time. Maybe the children that will come from their back will understand what I'm saying. Let's give them time. That is Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the reason why this history of Nabi Muhammad, called the biography of Nabi Muhammad, the life time of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is very, very important. Don't only talk about the words of Muhammad, but even his behavior, how he grew up, how he interacted with the people, how he responded to bitter issues is quite different. Therefore, let's give our children time to learn about the biography of their prophet Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The sixth one is Arabic language, al-lugha. Arabic language is very important. Why? Because it is the language of the Quran. People say it is difficult, very difficult, very difficult. But today we are speaking English. How did we get to know English? It's not our mother language. We got it in class. Why did we get it in class? Because most of the information that we are getting are Western information. The books that we are reading are Western books. The technology that we are absorbing are from there. So which language could they best teach us with? They have to teach us their language so that we can communicate with them. And it is the same thing with the Arabic language. Now the Quran is in Arabic. Our stuff, prayers, is solely in Arabic. Our dua is in Arabic. Therefore, Arabic language becomes important for children to learn and to understand the religion. Let them study. Let them learn. And that is what is madrasa. What is all about madrasa. Having said that, let's come to another issue. Types of madrasa education. Types of madrasa education. What type? We have two types. We have the formal and the informal. The formal madrasa are those madrasa, the above, these contents I'm talking about, the above, they are taught and integrated with the secular schools. They design a timetable that fits both. And that is what is called the dual curriculum. You have to understand this. When we are talking of madrasa, don't mix it. There are people who, I think one time I was in a meeting in the Ministry of Education where all the commissioners were gathered and there's directors of education and the PS. And then some people who had very little knowledge about madrasa came up and said, no, madrasa does not give the children the time to study very important things like the secular. All the time is given for madrasa for Islam. They only give secular only one day. And it is not true. The man is telling something. You know, if you are not informed, why do you inform people when you yourself is not informed? It beats my understanding. So, it is not true. If you go to the schools, you will find that madrasa, they have a kind of a timetable that is well regulated, that the two can get space. From Monday to Friday. But I think the bigger time is given to secular, while the time of madrasa is compensated either on Saturdays and Sundays. They compensate that one. And that is how madrasa, what is called the dual curriculum, that's how it is handled in schools which are formal schools. Now, the other one is called the informal. This informal is that madrasa which is taught in the mosques. They are taught in the evenings. They are taught over holidays. Yes, these ones, yes, they are there. But also there is a way we regulate them. So the madrasa we are talking today is not the madrasa of 1900. Because madrasa started as madrasa lifespan in Uganda is as old as the introduction of Islam in Uganda. Since 1844, madrasas were there. But those type of madrasas were quite different from the madrasas that today we are having. This one must be put in record. Madrasas used to be in verandas, in mwalimu's houses, and mosques. Well, those ones. But today, these madrasas are now either in those mosques. You know, we have around 15,000 mosques. And by the way, these 15,000 mosques are not only places for prayers, but they are also places for knowledge, for seeking knowledge. So they are also madrasas. Imams are supposed to set these madrasas going in every mosque, like just the Sunday schools in the churches. So if you see children on Sundays and Saturdays in a mosque reading, they don't think that there is a Batuju. Batuju are not there. They are learning their religion. They are learning what I've told you here above. And soon we are going to have all this curriculum and the books that is taught in these subjects. It must be also translated in English, so that those officials who are security agents, once they bump into your school and see those books, they get to know exactly what you are teaching. Because now if they don't know what you are teaching, they pick the books and they see these books in Arabic. They say, hey, so because we don't know it, therefore you are teaching terrorism. Who tells you that teaching terrorism is taught in a language that security don't understand? But even in the security, we also have Muslims. Security is not only for Christians. All types of people in Uganda are members of the security. Why don't you take to one of the Muslims who are in the security and find out what these people are actually teaching? So, madrasa can be in the mosque, but now when the children increase in number, then the madrasa, sometimes we construct them juxtaposition to the mosques. They are put around the mosques. That's also how madrasas are supposed to be. So, in madrasa, we should know that it is a good thing and it's necessary for the children to know their religion. Therefore, what are the challenges of madrasa today and mitigating factors? We are now looking at the madrasa challenges, and then we see how we mitigate those challenges. The problems are caused by them, by those in the madrasa, but the solutions are with the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. I have listed around 6 areas where we get problems that we need the assistance of the government, we need the assistance of NGOs, we need to come together and solve this problem. As I told you, there is a problem, but these problems can be solved. There is no problem without a solution, and there is no padlock without a key. Now, problem number 1 is insecurity, perception of the security in what is called the madrasa. Problem number 2, management. Management. Everybody wants to start a madrasa, and nobody should control these madrasas they have started. That is a major problem. If we knew, Islam is a religion of orderliness. If we knew that Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is our umbrella organization, when I'm starting my madrasa, I should inform the district Qadi, and the district Qadi should inform the headquarters, so that we give them a form that these people should be filling, so that everything they are doing should be recorded and properly organized and managed. I think there will be little problem. Madrasa is not supposed to be established by Uganda Muslim Supreme Council officials at all. Not only that, we can. But if somebody also want to come up and put up a madrasa, it is also welcome. It is not a bad idea. But the issue is, madrasa, the school will belong to you, but the children don't belong to you. The children are not private at all. Let us know where you are. Let us know what you are teaching. Let us inspect your school. If you're hearing me, that's what I'm telling you. You see the red ants in Surah An-Naml? They say, Ya Namlu idkhulu masakinakum, enter your houses. Accept that there should be that idea of management. In Islam, there is a teaching. I guarantee you there is a teaching. But the problem is sometimes there is no learning. People don't learn from what they are being taught. Islam is the religion of orderliness. For example, you enter a mosque and you have your degree in Sharia, some even masters, even PhD, but you enter a mosque, you are a sheikh, highly educated, but the time for prayers has reached, you are not the imam, you are not supposed to just jump there because you have the knowledge. No, Islam they don't do that. They will be checking where is he? What is the imam? Until the muadhin may choose, if they wait for more than 5 minutes, that the imam is nowhere to be seen, that is when now the adhan, muazzin, can either lead that prayer or with due respect can pick one of you to go and lead. And once that person has started to lead, the rest must be following. Can you imagine this? It doesn't mean that the imam is the most educated among the people in the mosque. No, it is not. But organization demands that he should be respected. Now, if it is there at the level of mosque, then the same respect should be there at the level of county, and it should be at the level of the district. Then it should be at the level of the region, and then, you see, because if you look at a circle, if you want to calculate the circle, whether it is a small circle, the circle of a tip of a soda is a very small thing. If you want to calculate it, it is pi, 2 pi, it is pi r squared. Pi r squared. It doesn't change. Even if you put sania, this one for eating pilau, you put it down and make a very big circle. If you want to calculate the circumference, it is still pi r squared. Even if you want to get the square of the whole world, it is still pi. So it doesn't change. The behavior you have at this level, at the mosque level, should be the same behavior that must be demonstrated at every other level. So that is how beautiful Islam is. You know, Islam acts like the army. You know, the army order ni moja, and that order should be followed. Understand? You don't take your own route, but you follow the what? You follow those orders very strictly. Therefore, respect for leadership is very, very important, and that one is the basis for our management of our madrasa education system. Then the other one is curriculum. My dear, we used to have so many, I counted so many curricula. When I came to Uganda Muslim Supreme Council as Secretary for Education in 2015, there were so many curriculum, and I worked out to reduce this curriculum. Now we have around two, and we are still working out to make sure we have one curriculum. Uganda Muslim Supreme Council has a curriculum, and others are following it, the curriculum of Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, like Link of Islamic schools. They used to have their own curriculum, but when we sat together and we talked with them, said, my dear, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is just the umbrella organization. We only set orders, we set policies, but it is you people to implement it. We are not coming to take away your business. No, we are not taking your business. Quran schools, I even talked to them. Please, let's come and join hands together. Let's work together. In politics, there is education, but in education, there is no politics. We come and work together so that we can protect our schools. You see, the moment we have a crack in our system, we can't move. We can't move. And that's why the enemies of Islam take advantage of those cracks and they go in. So when they commit a crime in madrasas, in the name of a madrasa, then the Muslim community, the religion itself is blamed for terrorism, when actually the terrorists are using the gap. Sometimes you go to some madrasas which have started, they will tell you, we are not under Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. For us, we are under Quran school. Then we leave them because they are protected under that name. When the Madaris al-Qur'aniya comes to them, they will say, no, you see, for us, we are following Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Then the Quran school leave them alone. Then they are there, la ilaha ulai wa la ilaha ulai. They are never on this side, they are never on the other side. They are just on the what? And when trouble is caused there, they will not say, these are isolated people. No, they will say, these are Muslims. This is Islam causing trouble. Islam is not a religion of trouble. Islam is not a religion of problems. Islam is a religion of programs. So let's follow the program and leave problem. So there is a need to have one curriculum. One time there was a United Religions initiative. They organized us, they came to me and we discussed. Then they went to Madrasa Qur'ania, they went to Chibuli, they went to where, and we came together. We made discussions, we moved together in order to come up with one curriculum. Although the bonds were not so strong, there is what Allah says, تَحَسَبُهُمْ جَمِيعًا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى, has been working around us. But we moved until one time the issues of LGBT again separated us. And that's where we stopped. But I think we need to think of how we can work together. We need to think of coming under this umbrella called Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is not anybody's property. It is not an NGO for anybody. It is for the Ugandans. If somebody who could claim that he owns Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, it should have been the late General Idi Amin Dada. He formed it because he got the information in the Quran that Muslims are supposed to be one. Our religion is different from other religions. Christianity, they have agreed. There is no quarrel now. A Catholic is a Catholic. An Anglican is an Anglican. Born again is a born again. That is their way of doing it. Our way is also different. If they say God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, these three are not three, but they are one. That is how they are. They can divide even their God into three. But you as a Muslim, you are not allowed to divide your God into three. Your God remains one, whether you like it or not. Inna hadhihi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fa'buduni. Inna hadhihi ummatukum ummatan wahida. This ummah is one. You cannot divide it. The other one they have their way of dividing. We are not saying that is how they are. They have their right to say it. But you as a Muslim, you have no right to divide your religion. Because Quran does not allow it. Quran says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِهِ صَفًّا كَأَنَّهُمْ بُنْيَانٌ مَرْصُوصٌ. That's what Quran says. You cannot copy any other thing. You can. It's not possible. If God has created the cow with a long tail, then the goat with that short tail should not complain that, God, why have you done this? Because the purposes of these two are different, and we are different. So don't copy something else and put it in Islam. You will never. Don't forget the day the Prophet Muhammad was going for his last hijjah. And when he reached the valley of Arafah, then a verse came from Jibril alayhi salam from the seventh heaven down to him and telling him, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam deena. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Al-yawmu akmaltu lakum dinakum. Today I have perfected for you, I have completed for you your religion. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, and I have perfected for you my trust or my favors. Wa raditu lakum al-islam deena, and I have given you Islam as your religion. Therefore, we need to find a way of having one curriculum, one Islam, one Qibla, and one religion. The issue is funding, and the resource also is a problem. Funding of this madrasa is a problem. Then lack of staff training, colleges is also an issue. Then number 6 is learning materials. The moment we solve this 6 problem, 1, security, management, curriculum, resources, funding, lack of staff training, if we have training, staff training, and learning materials, then, yes, the other one is education, of course, infrastructure development and intra-religious conflicts. The moment we address these issues, madrasa will be a very important place to be with, important place of education. Very, very good place, very peaceful place. I say all this for God and my country. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
GTV for unity and development.